So 13 men are crossing the sea, and all of a sudden, a storm rolls in. Waves are crashing on either side, and the boat's starting to take on water. Things are looking grim. The boat is looking like it's gonna sink. These men are sure they're gonna die. They're sure they're gonna drown, except for one of them. One of them's asleep in the stern. It sounds like the beginning of a joke, but it's actually the story of Jesus and his disciples crossing the Sea of Galilee. Now to back up, why was he in the boat? He was in the boat because he was trying to teach his parables earlier in the day, and the crowd got so big, and Jesus, he knew how to draw a crowd. The crowd got so big that he couldn't teach on the beach. So he got in a boat and he backed up a little ways from the beach and he taught from the boat. And as he wrapped up, it was time to move on. And the Sea of Galilee, it's pretty unusual. It's actually 700 feet below sea level. And there, storms can come in all of a sudden. It can be blue skies one minute and a brutal storm the next. So the weather's pretty unpredictable. I imagine when the disciples and Jesus were headed out away from that beach to the next location across the Sea of Galilee, things were looking good. The disciples weren't worried, but then they get out in the sea and a storm suddenly rolls in. The wind is howling, the waves are crashing over the side of the boat's taking on water, it's sinking, it's chaos. And they're sure they're gonna drown. And then Jesus is asleep in the stern. They wake him up and they're like, "Teacher, do you see what's going on?" He wakes up, he gets up and he says to the wind, he rebukes it. And then he says to the sea, "Peace, be still, be still." And it listens. It's dead calm. We go from storm, boat that's going down, to dead calm. And then he turns to his disciples and says, "Why are you so afraid? Where's your faith?" Now this happens at the end of Mark 4. I encourage you to go read it for yourself. I feel like this story has a lot to teach us about fear. Now, fear is a normal response when chaos comes in, turns our life upside down, especially when it's a life or death situation. But Jesus wants more for us. He always wants more for us. And he doesn't want us to live in fear. In the Bible, over and over and over, it says, "Fear not. Fear not, for I am with you. Fear not." Jesus is with us. He doesn't want us to be afraid. And ironically, his disciples were even more afraid when he rebuked the wind and told the sea to be still and be calm, and it listened to him. They were afraid because the weather listened to him. But that's not what he wanted. He wanted them to not be afraid, to realize, "Guys, I'm with you. There's nothing to be afraid of." And that's what he wants us. That's what he wants for us. To realize he's there with us in the storm. So there's nothing to be afraid of.